Welcome to Free Meditation TV. My name's Andrew and this is Oksana.
Good evening. Today our topic is the spirit, the nature of the spirit.
Many people wonder what exactly does the word spirit mean, because in our language there's so many. It's like rah-rah at a sports match. It can be a kind of alcohol. But the spirit is the reflection of the all-pervading power inside every human being.
It's reflected in our heart and our evolutionary process. We are all human beings, and in our evolution, what is the goal of our life? The goal of our life is to become the spirit. So to understand a little bit more about spirit, we would like to tell you about the nature of the spirit, of the spiritual person.
The nature of a spiritual person is someone that's joyful, that everything they need is contained within. As Socrates once said, look within yourself. So a spiritual person then is someone who's the complete person and is also a very joyous and humorous person, not necessarily always a very strict or stern or rigid person.
One of the qualities of the spirit is the innocence within us. So if we want to attain the spiritual side of us, we should learn to understand innocence, to enjoy innocence, to protect innocence, innocence of children, of animals, of nature.
And this leads into one of the other many qualities of being spiritual, and that is the desirelessness state. So many times we get stuck in pursuing something, a worldly goal or a worldly desire, and all these worldly desires take away from our spirit inside, because our attention is now moved from the spirit to a worldly issue. So an example is you can have or you can be. You can have something, a position of authority, a new car, a television set, or you can be. You can't have both, so you have to pick which one that you want.
So how to move attention from desires to spirit? We could desire something that's beautiful, because the quality of the spirit is to beautify something. So instead of desire many material things, we want to desire something that gives us aesthetics. And what you will find, especially when you feel Kundalini energy within you, that aesthetics leads you to things that give vibrations. That the books you read, you would like to read books that give vibrations. You would like to talk to people that have vibrations. You would like to see pictures, art that gives vibrations. That's how we go from material desire to the pure desire of the spirit, the beauty.
And when your attention goes to these beautiful things, you become more of a selfless person. You get absorbed in the moment, and these things are of eternal value. So a good piece of art, like the Mona Lisa, will always provide joy for people. You'll always enjoy those things. Or going to visit Niagara Falls, or going to visit nature. All of these things take our attention inside, and we slowly forget our own desires.
Another quality of spirit is it's detached. And detachment is the detachment of the pure love that doesn't attach to this thing, this person. It's from within. So the spiritual person is the one who is always joyful. There is no duality of I'm happy today if my ego is pampered a little bit, or I'm unhappy tomorrow. This is the single quality of joy. Spiritual people could not be gloomy, could not be unhappy for the long period of time, because this joy bubbles from within. And to attain this joy, there is only one way we could do that, is put our attention on this energy Kundalini, because Kundalini is the pure desire, and this desire is to be with the spirit. And when this energy Kundalini awakens, so when it crosses to our Sahasrara center, that's the first time our attention goes inside, because usually we cannot put our attention inside, it always goes outside. And when with self-realization, attention goes inside and our spiritual life starts.
This is why we continue to meditate. It's not just to relax or de-stress, and many times we hear those words, my mind will be a bit clearer, let's meditate and let's make that part of a healthy lifestyle. Of course those things are good, but what really keeps you meditating is that when you have that deep meditation and you feel that the Kundalini rises, it touches your spirit, when you feel that joy of the spirit, that is in the end what makes meditation really worthwhile. and really worth pursuing.
And now you could listen to lectures of Shri Mataji where she talks about this desire in us to achieve our spiritual evolution. Please try to, when you meditate or when you listen to Shri Mataji lecture, just try not to think. Just listen. Even if you don't understand something, your Kundalini would be awakened. Enjoy.
Now what you learn in the university is the knowledge of the tree. Knowledge that you can perceive and understand through your mental activity. But what I am going to tell you about today is the knowledge of the roots of the tree, from where the whole knowledge comes in. Now, to believe in me or to understand me, it is not necessary for you to have any sort of a faith in me or a surrendering position, but you must also know that if I have to tell you something new, you must keep your mind open to understand what I have to tell you. When we study, say, economics, take a subject which is very common these days and it is even regarded as a higher science than philosophy. What do we learn? The essence of economics is very simple. That wants, in particular, are satiable, but in general, wants are not satiable. This is the essence of Sahaja. Like, whatever you want to have, you can have today, and tomorrow you will run after another thing. That's why we have economics, because this is the tendency of human mind. But why it is so? Why is it? We really strive, supposing you are doing your graduation, you will strive your heart to be a graduate, but you won't be satisfied. You'd like to do higher studies, or you may like to take up a job, and even if you get a job, you will not be satisfied. Then you want to build a house, then you want to have a car, then you want to have, students want to have a nice bike, all right. When they have it, they want to have something else. You say, a helicopter maybe, I don't know what, but it goes on increasing. You're never happy with what you have, fully satisfied. Now the reason for that, you can find it in Sahaja. Because the roots are deeper down, which we do not know. It's all right to build up the whole science of economics on something. But what about the roots that have created this big tree of economics? The roots are that none of these material things are going to give us full satisfaction. This is the root of it. So what is going to give us that satisfaction? We come to the second logical question. What is the need of a human being to feel satisfied? There is something higher, something deeper, something that we have missed. This is definite. Now, what is that? We can refer, if you are not so much upset or angry, or we can say biased about the scriptures, any scripture. I'm not saying Bible or say Torah or say Indian scriptures or Buddha sayings or Tao or anything. You will find one common thing they have said. All of them have said one thing common, and that is that you are to be born again. You have to know your spirit. You have to become the spirit. Because that lacking in us, in our awareness, because we are not yet the spirit, whatever we know without it is only the mental projection, which is limited as our mind is limited. So to know the unlimited or to know the roots, you have to become the spirit. This is the first condition they have given. Now if you just don't deny them, we should look into it that we have to become the spirit. Now what is that? What is that within us which is the spirit? If there is something like spirit within us, we have not yet felt it. We have never felt the spirit within us. And what is that spirit? And what does it do? What are its qualities? we should try to find out. And that's what you can find out when you become the spirit. It's a vicious circle. It's the other way round. Here, nobody will say that you must become a graduate to know about economics. But in the other way round thing, you have to go deep down into the roots. And how do you do that? Supposing I say you pay attention to yourself. A teacher will say, pay attention. So all the students will start looking at him, looking at the blackboard. But I say, pay attention to yourself. Then you will say, Mother, how do you do it? It's an impossible thing. How do we take our attention inside? It's all the time outside moving. How are we to take it inside? That's why you have to get your realization first. You have to become the spirit by which you can take your attention inside to your roots. That's why the first condition in the Sahaja Yoga system is that we have to become the spirit. Before that, whatever I say, you will say, how is it true? You can always challenge. You can always say it may not be true, it may be wrong, it may be false. It's true. Because supposing I have no eyes and you start telling me about the colors, how will I know? So anybody would say that open your eyes first of all. Unless and until you open your eyes, you won't be able to understand what I'm talking about. In the same way, we have to understand that if we have to know about the roots, we have to penetrate within. For that, we have to become subtler than what we are. We are at a level from which we cannot enter inside ourselves. So we have to become something else, and that becoming is only possible if you become the spirit. I hope I am clear on that point. Now, how to become the spirit is the problem. Because whenever a teacher tells you do this, you said how? That's correct. I mean, logically, that's what should be the question. How do we become the spirit? Now, if I say that this is our evolutionary process, we have evolved as human beings, come up to this stage, and if something more has to happen, it has to happen the same way as evolution has taken place, automatically. What did we do to become human beings from monkeys, if we have become from monkeys? I don't think anybody remembers anything they have done to become human beings, or they have put in any effort to be that. We have done nothing. We just become human beings spontaneously, or we can say automatically. But actually this spontaneity relates to a living process. Only living things are spontaneous. Like you want to sprout a seed, you have to just put it in the Mother Earth. Spontaneously, it sprouts. We don't do anything to it. We don't stand on our heads, we don't read any book, we don't say anything to the seed, but it sprouts because it is built in within the seed. The quality to become the tree. In the same way, it is built in within you to become the spirit. As you have become a human being, you have to become the spirit. That's the evolutionary, natural process to which you have to take. Now, if you get just satisfied with whatever state you are in as a human being, you can live, not impossible. I mean, you can while away your time, you can carry on. But still, you will not be a satisfied person. You will not be a blissful person. You will not be a person who can be called as a person who has become an absolute personality. Still, you will be living in the relative world because of this mental activity which is going on, which will confuse you completely all the time. You would not know whether this is good or that is good. Like these days in England, we have a big confusion whether to vote Labour or Conservative or this. We don't know which one to vote. So we'll close our eyes, all right, whichever I catch, I will vote. We don't know what to do. This stage will go away because we haven't reached that state of absoluteness where we can decide things with absolute authority. This is the thing. This is the right thing. Once we understand this state that lies within us, then what do? We know what is right and what is wrong. And right can be only one thing. There cannot be any difference of opinion as to what is right and what is wrong if you do it with your absolute awareness. But human awareness is not absolute. If it was so, there would have been no problem. There would not have been any necessity to have this MX authorized or have this atom bomb produced there. And all human beings are the only animals that are doing like this. You see, you don't find any dogs creating any atom bombs or anything to kill each other. But this is special human failure to show that we are not at an absolute point where we all agree. So how to achieve that is the second point. Again, I said it is spontaneous, it's a living process, and you don't have to worry about it. It's all built in within yourself.
Let's meditate. Let's first start taking our hand, our right hand, and raising it up the center of our spine and seeing if we can feel a coolness just above the top of our head. Let's do that again. Now, while we're meditating, we can try to feel this energy above our head with our hand down, or we could also slowly breathe in and see if we feel energy in our heart. Let's meditate.
Welcome back. In this segment, we will have some questions. Can we have questions?
How do I know that the spirit is awake?
At the beginning, we told about the nature of the spirit, the qualities of the spirit. And the easiest way to know the spirit is awake and communicates to us is through vibrations. When we see something, or we read the book, for example, and we feel cool on our hands, this is our spirit that is awake, communicates to us that this is beautiful, it's vibrations. When we see something or read something and we feel hot on our hands, that's again our spirit communicates to us that something against its nature. That's how spirit communicates with us.
Essentially, when you're feeling joy and you're feeling at peace with yourself, you're feeling with a quality of being with your spirit as well. So you're feeling very balanced inside.
Yes, it's sometimes people say, well, I'm happy or I'm unhappy. It could be quite subjective. But if you feel joy, you feel happiness, and you feel vibrations, that it means that you are in the state of spirit. One more?
Can I feel the spirit on my hands?
Well, yes, that's in one of our lectures or one of our classes where we're talking about the heart chakra, and the spirit is reflected in our heart, and we could feel it on our pinky finger, left side. So if there is some problem, then we could feel tingling or burning sensation on the left hand on your pinky tip. Then we know that there is a problem with this center. If it's nice and cool on this finger, it means that the spirit is nice and healthy within us.
Essentially, the spirit, how we feel the spirit is when the Kundalini rises from the bottom all the way up to the top, you feel the energy at the top of your head. When you feel the energy at the top of your head, the heart chakra is at the top of your head, and that energy reflects in your heart here as well. So the spirit is residing in the heart, and its manifestation is the feeling of vibrations. So it's not so much that it's a chakra or you feel it on your hands, is that the vibrations are manifesting the quality of the spirit.
More questions?
How can I tell if my spirit is healthy?
Your spirit's healthy when you're feeling at peace with yourself. Whenever we have desires, or we have something that we want to do or fulfill, we feel a bit anxious about it. We feel incomplete. But our spirit's healthy when we feel very complete inside ourselves, and we feel at peace and that equilibrium and balance.
One more question?
Should we keep our attention in our left heart to feel our spirit?
You could put attention on your heart center, or you could put attention on the top of your head, because on our head all the pitas are, all chakras are in our brain, and when Kundalini passes through the fontanelle bone area, it's actually our heart center. And when it crosses this Sahasrara center, the fontanelle bone area, then the spirit gets awakened, enlightened within us, and it's reflected in our heart. So you could put attention on your heart and meditate, or you could put attention on your Sahasrara.
Another thing you can also do is just place your right hand right on your heart. And that's why we say in the first episode to start feeling our spirit and energy, you can just say 12 times, I am the spirit. Or Mother Kundalini, I am the spirit. And that will help too. So you can always meditate with your hand on a particular chakra. So like on your heart would be the one for the spirit. Well, it's nice to have 4 questions today, Oksana. Please keep asking questions, everyone, and you can always email us at our Gmail address, which you'll see shortly. And please subscribe to our channel. And thanks for watching today.
Good night.
Don't forget to like us on Facebook, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and if you have any questions whatsoever or suggestions, please send us an email. we'll be more than happy to get back to you.